Morning then, welcome to Allotment Flower Garden. We're here in greenhouse. It's 15th of January. It's still early yet. It's baby steps, but there's one or two things we can do today which I want to show you and you can crack on with. Seed sowing. So we're going to do some sweet peas today. The first thing to mention with them, if you can zoom in on it, Dan, is I've just soaked them in water for 24 hours. That's because they're an hard seed.
Yeah.
So it's just to help to break that coat on seed and just to rehydrate them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, sweet peas, you set them off now. I'm lucky I'm in an heated greenhouse. I'm getting overnight temperatures with gas on at like 11 degrees, which is plenty. But if you haven't got that facility, a windowsill's more than adequate for germinating them. So right, decent seed compost. So I've got these little 9cm pots, 3/4 full, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just drain water out of these peas, these sweet peas.
This is where they all go on floor.
That's him. I feel a bit odd to pick up. And I'm going with 10 seeds to a pot. So I'm going to make sure that they're spaced. There's a seed that's big enough to handle as well, which is good. Nice and spaced out. You can start sweet peas sort of back end of year, sort of October time.
Yeah.
I've done that in past, but I found they just seemed to sit over winter. They didn't put any real good amount of growth on, so I didn't find any benefit to doing it really.
Yeah.
So now's the time of year that I'll start them off. So as you can see, Dan, they're just sat in there. Yep. And then just top that up with compost. Simple as that. I don't like to plant them or sow them too shallow, sweet pea seeds, because I find that they can come through and be a bit weak growth doing that. So, like I say, 3/4. Place your seed in. Try and keep them a bit of distance apart so they'll grow better, stronger plants with that. In as Bosch, till compost turns colour, you know then that it's well watered. Let it drain, and like I say, heated conservatory, a greenhouse if you've got one that's got a bit of heat in it, or a bedroom windowsill, anything like that. They should germinate between 10 and 14 days. When they're through, we'll give them a few weeks, so we'll come back to them to February time, Dan.
Yeah. And
I'll show you what you need to be doing with them when they get to about second, third leaf stage.
Yeah.
Another thing while we're here, what I've actually done, and perhaps you might not do it this year, but you could always think about it for next. Begonia illuminations, Dan. A trailing begonia. So these were from a corm. These were in hanging baskets last summer.
Yeah.
At back end, I kept a couple, kept them warm, brought the corms back into growth, and then these are all individual plants, and there were cuttings what I struck off with them. What time would that have been, Dan? Were it November time?
It must have been
early November. Right, these are ready for potting up now. Again, they need some warmth because they're R40 annual as such. So this time of year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a load more cuttings off them, and they'll go back into my propagator at home and root them. So we're going to end up from, I think there were 2 corms I kept back, we're going to end up with a really good stock of these illumination trailing begonias, which are stunning in baskets and air racks. Same compost as what I did the sweet peas in.
That's just the Levingtons.
That's just Levington seed and modular. There's Levington seed and modular, there's Clover seed and modular. They're both as good as each other, to be honest. There's no... Put the old glasses on. Right. Zoom in on this, Dan. So I'm looking for where there's some leaves. So I'm going to go down to there. Yep. Then with the leaf and the stem joined, that's the node.
Yep.
That's the part with all the business in. And then I'm going to insert that. And where do I insert it, Dan?
On the edge.
On the edge, because you get that bit more warmth with the edge of the pot.
Just helps them roots get
It
started.
does, yep. Can you hear the old oxygenator bubbling away there?
Yeah, it's first time it's been going like that for a fair while,
got
isn't
a
it?
bit of sun, haven't we?
Yeah.
You can use rooting hormone if you like to. I use cinnamon a lot now. The first batch I did of these, I didn't use any, and as you can see, they've done all right. So
really well.
We'll carry on without it then. These will root 14 days.
Yeah.
Around that, yep. There's the odd one or two with a flower on as well, so such as there, look, Dan.
Yeah.
I'll nick that off. Yeah. And then these are all going to get potted up into individually into this size pots, and these are actually going home and being put on windowsill then. So stock plants, as it were.
Yeah, so obviously just taking that flower off, and what's the reason behind that?
It's because if it's got a flower on, it's putting its energy into the flower, which you don't want when you're trying to root it.
No.
I want to change that hormone, so it's putting it into actually developing roots.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. It'll just make its roots strike that little bit quicker.
Yeah.
I'll do one more for camera and then I'll come back to these after and finish them off. Yep. That's it. Right, if you're doing them on a windowsill, if you can put some sort of polythene bag over them, all the better. That just helps with that humidity. What you need to do, well, these little misting bottles, I've got one somewhere with some stuff in. Or I did have. Come back to that one, I'll do it after, it needs filling up. But basically, you just mist them. Just keep leaves misted once a day. Don't need to put loads on because you'll damp them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can even, if you have it on in your stock, just little yellow sulphur. Just a dab. And that'll just stop that damping off. It'll help stop damping off. So yeah, a couple of little jobs. Like I say, it's early January. What you can be getting on with. These are, if you start buying these in corms, you know, you're talking £1.50 a piece. So,
yeah.
And you need a good 6 or 7 for a basket or a day rack, so they can get expensive. Excuse me. So if you can do it yourself, it doesn't take a lot of skills.
No.
Why not? I said that, we'll come back to that in February. Right, what's to come? Well, if you like your dahlias, chrysanthemums, they're worth having a look at, Alls of Eden.
Yeah, some really good stuff.
Yeah. We did all right at Rotherham last year at show, and all stock plants come from Alls of Eden, which did really well. And I got that through as well, that J. Parker's, no relation. And I've sent off there for 100 ranunculus corms. You'll put a picture on down of what ranunculus looks like when it's in flower. Hopefully we'll have them for February. So when we come back in Feb, what we'll do then, I'll show we get going with our dahlia tubers.
Yeah.
And like I say, hopefully we've got these ranunculus corms. I'll show you a way to get them going successfully, because there's not a trick to them, but there's a way to doing it what improves and helps your success.
Yeah.
So just a short video, just to let you know we're still here. Hopefully in February we'll have some bulbs in flower as well. We planted quite a few bulbs last year.
Yeah.
And we've got 1 or 2 primulas and hellebores still in flower, so there's a bit of flower for odd bee that ventures out. But yeah, keep safe, and we'll see you next month.
Yeah, we'll see you later.